Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Speaker Series Spotlight. I am your host, Brad the Brick Crihfield, with the Chamber of Commerce, and with me today, I have Maddie Fuentes from Arbonne International.
That's right. Thank you, Brad. Thank you for having me here today. I'm very honored to be here today and asked to speak for you.
So I know you and I have already been talking, but let's recap a little bit about who you are, and then we'll get into what it is you do. So who is Maddie?
Well, Maddie is a mom, a wife, and a grandma of 7. And I have 7 grandchildren, and they're the loves of my life. I love my community here. I just love to help people. I came to the chamber to see how I can help. I wanted to be able to help the chambers, and I want to be able to help my community in any way I possibly can.
That's awesome, and I see you at events all the time.
Yeah.
And you're always there, and willing to participate. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm going to need some help for our chamber fireworks booth. So be careful how much you want to volunteer, because
I've heard that Hazel is sharing with me about them, so, as well as Jasmine. I said, well, I'll help you. Yeah. Not a problem. But am I going to get a discount?
I'll have to make some phone calls, but we'll figure it out. So, apart from being a part of the community, and what is it that you do?
Well, I am a small business owner.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own cloud-based business, which is health and wellness. And what I do is I share one person, one family, one community, one nation at a time. My mission is to share with people that they have healthier choices when it comes to their personal care. It can be anywhere from a sports line. It can be a healthy detox program. I have a baby line, makeup, and of course healthy aging, and a spa line. And what I do is I just meet people and I listen to them. The key about sharing your products or your business with somebody is you need to really listen to know what they need, mm-hmm. right? Not to just, here's my product.
Right.
And I love to listen to people. In order for me to listen to them and pay attention to them, in order to help them. Right. It could be as simple as, they have a blemish or something a little bit more severe. They have a stomach problem, right? Or they want to build that momentum when it comes to triathlon, right? And that's what I do. I share healthy products with people, as well as teach people and coach them along how to have their own business.
So how long have you been a part of Arbonne International?
I have been with Arbonne International for 2.5 years, and it has definitely been, I can't express enough how it's really changed my life. I have become happier and healthier than I ever have before, not just from the products, but I get to help people's lives. I get to help them dream again, right? We all have those dreams. I'm getting goosebumps, okay? And it's not from the air conditioning because we get to help those individuals that are looking for another source of income, that plan B, in case plan A doesn't come through.
Right. So how did you get started at Arbonne?
Well, how I started with Arbonne is I worked in corporate America just like the rest of us, a 9-to-5 job. I worked for 35 years out there, and unfortunately I started becoming ill from my everyday life, right? Cubicle, driving, home. Right. And I think most of us, that's the kind of life we're living right now. And what little time we have, we just don't have. And I became ill, and Arbonne came to me, as they say, the life preserver was sent to me, but I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to take that life preserver. Mm-hmm. So once again, the life preserver came again, and I tried it. And the product literally changed my health.
So speak a little bit about that. How did it change your health?
When my girlfriend introduced me to the product, I tried it.
Uh-huh.
And 3 days later, my life changed. I was happy again. I was feeling revived again. I never had to have the surgery the doctors wanted to give me. I didn't have to have the prescriptions. Now, I'm not saying not to take your prescriptions, but there is an alternative way to a holistic, healthier lifestyle than the products that we're currently using.
So which products were the products that helped change that?
What helped me was we have a program that's called 30 Days to Healthy Living program. The program consists of protein, which is 20 grams of pure protein. Now, when I say 20 grams of pure protein, that is from the plant, the pea, the vegetable pea, PEA, a cranberry protein, and a brown rice protein. And that helps you to sustain some of the hunger for yourselves.
So the healing concept of it, is it more focused on like creating like a healthier gut biome, where with your probiotics?
Absolutely, that's great. Thanks, Brad. Absolutely, because our gut is the breeding ground for all the germs that we take in, and diseases develop in our gut. And a healthy gut is a healthy life.
Well, that's why fiber is so important too, because when things are staying in your stomach for a long time, they have much bigger chance to develop into something that's not very healthy. So if you don't have enough fiber, soluble and insoluble fiber, you're really not flushing that out consistently. Then if you have too much soluble fiber, it actually kind of like clogs things up too.
And you're right, and that's why we have a program for you. We have a 7-day healthy program that we help you through. We have a private Facebook group that helps you and provides for you recipes, things that to start avoiding for 30 days to help you stay on track with the 30 days.
So that's part of what you do, right? Because there's the health, and I know it's all health and wellness, right?
Absolutely.
But that's like more like the nutrition side of things.
Nutrition, yes.
So you have the nutrition sector of the business, and then what are the other sectors?
The other sectors are, we have our healthy aging, right?
Okay.
We have for men and women, where we can help our skin as well as our complexion, but our body as well, to keep the elasticity in our body, to help maintain a healthier glow and healthier skin. We have a sports line that helps with the dehydration when somebody's a diabetic, as well as the elderly.
When they're diabetic?
Diabetics. Our 30 Days Healthy Living has a low glycemic index, which helps the diabetic.
Right.
My sister's diabetic.
Well, it helps control their, for people that don't know what low glycemic means, it means it doesn't spike your blood sugar very high. It's like an extended release sugar that only elevates your blood sugar to a certain point, so you don't have a big crash at the end and get a little dizzy.
Right, and we're not running for that sugar that we need.
Right, or yeah.
And the Hydration Plus is the replacement for the sports drinks, which helps.
So what's the stimulant?
The stimulant, it has 6 electrolytes in it.
Okay.
Versus just your 1 or 2, and the sugar is minimal. The sugar, everything's from the plant, so it's from the stevia plant.
Right.
And so the electrolytes that we lose, or even the medications that diabetics use on a daily basis, they could become dehydrated. And the reason why I've learned about this is my sister is diabetic, and my sister is younger than me, so diabetes is not prejudice of any age, any ethnicity, or culture.
Right. Statistically, it's more prevalent in certain.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely, it is. But it's also based on diet.
Oh, it's
huge on
it's
diet.
very dependent on diet and also activity level. Because when you're talking about diabetes, and this is where I can go on and on about.
Oh, there you
I actually do like seminars on like diabetes prevention and type 2 diabetes, like how to control it with weight loss and nutrition. It basically, like the amount of insulin that your pancreas is secreting, that coupled with like inactivity and just being sedentary, your pancreas basically just gets wiped out, just gets worn out. Then you become insulin insensitive. Then your pancreas keeps cranking out more insulin, until basically your body stops responding to the insulin. And that's when you can become, insulin dependent type 2 diabetic, which is a very hard place to get to, because then you're stuck taking insulin after every meal and trying to match your insulin units with your glycemic index units, and it gets very complicated. I even wrote a book on nutrition.
Oh, did you? Wow. I need to read that.
It's a bestseller on Amazon. Not really, but I mean, it is on Amazon. But it's not, we sold some copies. We had a really good kickoff.
Yeah, but it's nothing like networking, right?
Well, it's for me, it's always been my product has always been the fitness side of things, right? just nutrition is a huge part of you don't do one without the other. And if you do, you're just really making it hard on yourself. You have to be doing both,
and
right?
you are correct, because I didn't know that until I actually started moving. I actually had the ability to start moving because, things wear out.
Right.
In your body, your joints, your knees.
In fact is, I mean, if you're not eating properly, it's very hard to get motivated to work out because you feel sluggish. If you have a lot of carbs and sugar in your meals, you're going to have those periods throughout the day where you're constantly riding that sugar wave and you're not going to feel like working out.
Right.
And then, vice versa. If you're working out, you're going to feel like eating better because you have a better connection to your body.
Yeah.
And the fact is, when people have eaten so badly for so long, they become desensitized to how bad the food is. They become desensitized to the salt. What happens when you're eating too much salt and sugar in your diet? Your taste buds basically just die.
Absolutely.
And then healthy food tastes like dirt. And then you have to keep putting more salt and more sugar on foods just so they taste better.
Right.
And you don't even realize it, but you gravitate towards those foods because that's the only thing you can really taste. That's why when people detox on stuff, even going 2-3 weeks, maybe a month of not eating salts and sugars, and then they have like a good quality salad, they can actually taste the freshness of the, and it's night and
they
day.
don't believe, I share with people, if my favorite junk food, and it was within my budget. I'm sorry, Costco. You can't go wrong there with the pizza, a hot dog, and a soda. I was in heaven, okay?
All three?
All three. Sorry, Brad.
That's like 2,400 calories.
Oh my gosh. But you know what? That's because my body was needed something from one of those components. Right? To this day, I can tell you, I don't crave that anymore.
Right.
Because of the cleaning of your body. And instead of running to, we used to go to the McDonald's or the Jack in the Boxes, it's like, oh my gosh, I want that spinach salad, right? Because your body does crave healthy. If your body craves unhealthy, it can crave healthy. It's all right there. People just don't know, because if they knew better, they would do better. It's just they don't know.
See, where I see it, it's all new science, right? So it's and humans are humans. We're all just kind of figuring it out, and that's why I find no matter what we're talking about, is when it comes to health products or wellness products, it's always like you have to have an open mind. You have to try it, but you have to be very honest with yourself, like what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And I'm not saying you have to try cyanide to believe that it's bad for you, but what I am saying is, like, generally speaking, if you see something that's like organic or something that's farm fresh, like maybe try it for a little bit and see if like eating those foods really does make a difference, because the odds are it probably will. And if we look at just basically what's in our food, if you were, this is my test, and I just had this conversation with my brother the other day. He asked me, he had a drink, it was an energy drink, and he said, "Is this bad for me?" And I get that question a lot. And I told him the test. I said, if you can read out loud right now in one try all of the ingredients, then it's fine for you to drink. And he tried and got through like 6 ingredients, and then he was just like, it was Greek.
Absolutely. And that's what people are starting to share these days.
Right.
Is like, if you can't read it,
right,
then it's not for you.
That could be a nice shirt. If you can't read it, don't eat it. Oh, snap!
Like that.
Yeah, that's good.
A new one for the gym.
I know.
Oh, I like it. Write it down.
Don't eat it. Oh no, I got it recorded. This is like the new write it down.
Oh, there you go. There you go. It's just like when I'm driving around, right? I'll come up with these, slogans, and I'm writing them down. Like I have a few slogans myself, because I just don't do Arbonne. I don't.
Yeah.
I do other things too to share my product with people. I mean, it's kind of unusual what I might do, and I
like what? What's
Lyft.
unusual?
I'm a Lyft driver too.
You're a what?
Lyft.
Okay.
I Lyft, and I have my product, not the product itself, but I do have information. So I had to find another way.
That's like a no-no, isn't it?
No, actually, it's not. It's
really?
not. No, because I kind of tested it out for the last 4 months, and I was respectful to my passengers, but I was listening to them to see what they needed or what's going on in their life. But what was a better way for me to be able to sustain my business, right? And generate a little bit more income to help me to sustain my business.
Oh, I love the hustle.
Without putting out the money to the.
No, that's funny. So do you do like like product placement in your car? Just kind of like
I do. I'll show you my car.
Talking about this.
I'll show you. I have my car.
That's funny.
I have it. It's really nice. It's really, I don't bombard anybody. I respect.
Maybe turn on music with like subliminal. Like,
I kind of go with whoever's in the passenger.
That's funny.
Most of the time they like classical. Believe it or not.
You can hand them a water with like a Arbonne label on it. It's like, oh.
I do share the fizz stick with them because a lot of people are tired.
The what?
It's called the fizzy stick.
Okay.
And it has vitamin B. It has ginseng. It has less than 1 gram of sugar.
Okay.
It's a replacement for sodas and coffee. It has only 13 grams of
how much caffeine?
13 grams.
Yeah.
It helps open up that fogginess.
Right.
And all of a sudden it's whoa.
People don't realize how much nutrition has effect on your mental clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, like I do intermittent fasting, right? So like I don't eat until about 12
What's
o'clock.
Intermittent fasting?
I only eat 8 hours out of the day.
Oh, why?
So a lot of the reasons you said, so basically it gives your gut a chance to clean out. Because when you're constantly putting food in like every 3 to 4 hours, like most people do, your gut basically gets backed up and it prioritizes things and things that kick down and you're not clearing out. So it gives me a chance to kind of go to a reset every day. Also, it's very ketogenic. So when you push breakfast back and your ketone levels are elevated, and it helps you stay insulin sensitive.
Okay.
So and it's also just a healthy, like a kind of like if I start eating at 12, I eat till 8, and it's very hard to overeat when you're only eating an 8-hour period. Where people tend to overeat is when they have their first meal at 7 and their last meal is at 9 at night.
Oh, yeah.
So within that bracket, there's going to be a lot of like hunger
there's going
waves.
to be spikes.
Yeah, so it's just a controlled way of eating that tends to help. But
yeah, but a lot of people can't do that.
Yo, sure they can.
They can.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I mean it's a completely healthy way to eat, and it's actually a more primally. It's just more a natural way of eating. I mean, the whole idea of like eating first thing you wake up and then like eating before bed is actually kind of an odd thing.
Awesome.
Usually, like us as just like mammals, we would go and we would gather food throughout the day, cook it at night, but it wasn't like right when we woke up we had a refrigerator and we'd open it up and start eating, right?
Oh, that makes sense.
But it like I said, it's just something that really works well for me, and it happens to work well with a lot of people. But some people, you're right, it doesn't work as well, and especially for women who are trying to maintain their muscle mass, it doesn't work as well because you're protein deficient in the morning and you're going to want some protein, so a couple eggs is great. But again, when we start talking nutrition, I'll just keep going.
Oh no, I could talk to you all day long.
I love.
It's just like when today Hazel sent me a text, about our time frame. I said, "Oh, cool, and I can have my oatmeal and berries, right?"
Yeah. So, but it also is. It depends on who it is.
Absolutely.
It depends on their gut biome. It also depends on what their goals are. I get this question a lot. Hey, what should I be eating? You're like skipping, first, second, third base, going, for the home. Like, I don't know.
You're just going straight for it. Reader's Digest. Just tell me what it is.
People want the one answer. People want the answer, and a lot of times they're going to ask the question as many times as it takes to get the answer they were looking for, rather than the answer that's real, right? Mm-hmm. So I deal with that a lot, but I enjoy navigating those waters and kind of helping people understand, like, all right, because really it's all about the relationship with food. So same thing with your products. It's what is your relationship with these things? Because most people are just not mindful of the products they use. Absolutely. They're not mindful of the food that they're eating, not mindful of how they feel when they eat certain foods. Mm-hmm. So unless someone's going to stand in front of them and say, hey, this is something you can focus on that's going to benefit your life, they're never going to do it willingly because there's just too much distractions that demand their attention.
Right, life takes over.
I think that the big issue is people kind of feel a little hopeless with it all. And so sometimes, it takes somebody to give them some information, education, saying, hey, here's an alternative. So that's what you're doing.
We're here for. And that's why you have your profession, and your goal is to help people, give them the information, as well as myself. Right. It went from, the corporate America world, the accounting world, anything in accounting, there I was, into a health advocate. Right. And just a completely different shift, because this is, to me, as a passion to help people.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
Yeah.
again, thank you so much for
Thank you for having
coming
me.
in. No, it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Till our next speaker spotlight.
Yes, that's right. That's coming up real soon. I think that's next week. And then we have, you're going to be volunteering at the fireworks booth too.
Yeah, as well as others.
Right.
All right,
No,
Brad.
just you and fireworks.
Oh, okay. I can sell those.
we'll be there helping too.
All right.
Thank you again. I
Thank
really
you,
appreciate
Brad.
it.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, thank you again for tuning into this week's episode of the Speaker Series Spotlight. I'll see you next week.